So the Spotify method is it's based on a bunch of beliefs that we have, and one of them is that teams should be able to operate autonomously, and that's I think where when we started thinking about how do we want to be organized, autonomy of teams was the most important thing, because if you look at more conventional organizations and software development organizations, then you often have say a back-end team and a front-end team, and you have testers and you have some data people, and these are all organized in teams according to competences. And what we saw is that the bigger we became, and we had that same structure, but the bigger that Spotify became, the more dependencies there are between those teams. Which also means that, and one team is often not involved in just one project, but they work on several different projects at the same time. Now, if you have, say, 5-6 teams with different priorities working on different things, and all those things are not of equal size, it's very hard to synchronize the work between those teams to get one complete project done. So we saw that teams were slowing down, and that everybody was basically waiting on everybody else. You get sort of a weird deadlock situation. So we thought, okay, we need to sort of break open and we need to reorganize. So what we did was say, we built teams where we build those teams around the competencies that are necessary to finish a project, basically run a project from A to Z, and make a team fully independent of any other teams, right? So if the competence is not there in the team, we will put it in the team instead of relying on another team, right? So teams get a mission, and we say, this is what you are going to do. We leave it completely up to them how they are going to do it. They can define their own process. To a certain extent, they can define their own technology. But the team is responsible for delivering that feature. Together with that, and the fact that we have to experiment, and it's something that I mentioned in my presentation, for us, being able to experiment is super important, because we have to stay ahead of the curve. What we ask from teams is that they build small, they iterate really quickly, and they build, say, a small prototype and iterate based on that, instead of first thinking for 6 months and then implementing for 6 months, because if it turns out that the experiment that they did doesn't turn out to be okay, then we lose maybe a few days or a few weeks instead of months or years, and then So we ask those teams to be, or we actually require from them that they're agile and that they work with agile methodologies and things like that. But I think the cross-functional is what people then call sort of the Spotify model.